Hello everyone, this is Endgame Arts with another boxing and offline product game review. This is Astro for the PlayStation 5. To jump right into it, this physical copy here is just the base vanilla version of the game, so the on-disc version is 1.0.0. Now sadly there was an update available. This update size was 3.6 gigabytes big and will take you to version 1.4.0 since the time of this video. Now, like always, I play all my games completely offline with an unregistered account, and I cannot claim my experience was 100% flawless, but I did beat the game and 100% complete it, and as well, I was still unlocking trophies with my unregistered account. Now, I wanted to hurry up and jump right into Astro because I was seeing a lot of spoiler content pop up. I wanted to go into the game with a very fresh mind and eyes and everything like that. But as you probably noticed in the video, right as you start up the game will pop up letting you know that the game is missing a critical updates, and it recommends you to download to update the physical copy. Now, as always, again, I play all my games without updates, so you can just hold X and bypass this pop-up and still beat the game without needing any updates or connecting to the internet. But what's aggravating is that this pop-up is mentioned about critical updates. What those critical updates is that the game will update to allow the game, of course, do some fixes and stuff like that, but also allow you to play the game without motion controls. So if you do not download any updates and play just from the disc, you cannot disable motion controls. You are required to play the game with motion controls on all the time, every time. Which I cannot explain how frustrated and aggravated I was with the game and the developers for releasing the game in this state. It was so aggravating to know that developers literally took time to program a pop-up and mentioning about how they released a buggy, broken game, didn't bother just working on a right joystick support. That's beyond just incompetence level that I cannot even mention. So I was so mad with the developers in the game that I just had to just quit the game and not play it for a whole day and just come back to it the next day. But jumping back into the game, I wanted to mention that I did enjoy the game. I 100% completed it. I had a blast playing it. The game was really fun. But I do want to mention some problems that I had experienced through the game. First off, since the game, of course, has the motion controls and it relies heavily on you using the DualSense controller on all of its features, there is some moments in the game where the game expects you to have rumble function on. Now, I don't know about other people, this is just strictly me. I hate all these features and controllers. I disable rumble controls on everything. I do not like motion controls. I do not like motion triggers or whatever, adaptive triggers. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want a normal controller that does normal controller stuff. So it was very aggravating that the developers designed certain progressive moments that requires you to have vibrating controllers on. Again, Team Asobi is being quite incompetent as game developers, considering with the pop-up, as well as making it almost required to have vibrating controllers to be able to progress certain areas. Thankfully, it's not crucial. You can still progress without the vibrating controls. It just makes certain progression areas a little bit more annoying and just guesswork, because you can't feel the rumbling in the controllers. You just gotta randomly hopefully you can find a secret path to get through. Again, that is very, very frustrating and disappointing and just completely incompetent game developing, as well as making motion controls the primary controls instead of the right joystick. You do right joystick first, then you do motion controls. Again, not a very good sign of the future for Team Asobi as game developers. But I also want to point out the game also has some depth perception issues. I don't know if it was maybe just me. This may be a personal issue. I've ultimately had some depth perception where it was really difficult to tell the distance from a projectile or an object or a jump at certain moments. Maybe this is just a personal problem with me, and that's perfectly fine. But I did have some depth perception problems with the game. As well as I did have the game crash twice on me. Bear in mind with these two crashes, the first crash, this was good because it allowed me to provide more information, but the second crash in the game was right at the very end of the special credits of the game. So it was very aggravating that I had to run to the special credits again because the game crashed right at the end of those credits. But also, what the first crash happened was just completely random. It did remind me that this game has a weird auto-saving progress. You cannot manually save in this game, but it only auto-saves at specific moments in the game. I think the only time the game auto-saves is if you go back to the main menu of the game, but you hit the options button, then go back to the title screen. that autosaves, as well as when you go back to the main HUD world where your PlayStation 5 is and where all your bot friends are at, that's where maybe it autosaves as well. So if you never return to return to the hub world or go back to the main menu, the game never saves. So keep that in mind. So if you do a bunch of planets and levels and the game crashes, power goes out, and you never backed out to the main menu or go back to the HUD world, you could lose all your progress. So just occasionally, as you beat a world, maybe two, go back to the HUD world or back out to the main menu of the game to make sure you can autosave, because you can lose a lot of progress if you're not careful. As well as that, I do want to mention that I had some weird, there's a part of the game where you got like how many bots you need to progress in the HUD world. When the game crashed that one time and I went back to the HUD world, it acted like I never did any of the progression things with the bot requirements. So they all reset on me. One of them I could not do again, but it was very aggravating because it was like there's a really weird bug that it reset all my bot requirements. I still had all my bots and I just had to do those requirements again, but it did reset those. As well as I want to go into certain other issues, I did have a certain level called Going Loco, a soft lock on me. There's a specific moment where you need to like ride this wind and it transitions you to the next area. That wind was not there, so I could not progress to the level. I tried restarting the level, it did not work. I tried to back out of the game and go back into that level again, it did not work. Then eventually I just opened up the PlayStation, closed out the application, and then reboot the game back up, and then it finally worked. So careful with that. I did have a soft lock at a certain moment in the game. Next up, there is certain items are moved. So if you're going to go online and look at some like walkthroughs or something like that, certain puzzle pieces and certain enemy locations and certain items or something like that may be at different locations if you don't update your game. So the unupdated version could have different location of certain puzzle pieces and special little trigger items and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. As well as that there was some few FPS drops in the game. Not crucial, not massive or anything like that, but I did notice it get a little choppy at certain moments. Not that big of a deal, but for such a simple game and being very minimalistic, it was a little disappointing to see such frame rate drops like that. It was mostly when you had like a bunch of objects, like a bunch of items you're smacking around, particles and stuff like that flying around. Also, I do want to make sure it's very important to inform you, the game does come with a redeem code. And again, that redeem code is unactivated, so if you want it, go ahead and activate it. But I do want to mention that the contents on that redeem code is unlockable by just playing the game. It's like a Parappa outfit for the Astrobot, as well as a controller skin in-game. Both of those things can be unlocked in normal gameplay. So that's really nice. I really don't like it when developers do that. I don't like it when a redeem code or a pre-order bonus is something that's locked completely. I like it when those items can be unlocked in-game. Now the avatar icon things, I don't know if that is unlockable. I don't know. That requires me to go online, and I'm not doing that. And that's about it. It's a hit and miss. I love the game. I actually greatly enjoyed it. I just wish the game was a little bit more better programmed. I wish the developers spent a little bit more time actually developing the game, polishing it out, than worried about developing a pop-up screen. That's massive signs of an incompetent game developers. But in the most part, the game is insanely charming, insanely fun to play, and thankfully the motion controls is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It is in the game, and it is tedious, especially like the monkey one, with use the monkey's motion control stuff. That there's only one level with that. I think the developers know that the whole motion controls is just not fun. It's just incompetent. And then again, the game expects you to give your controller a blowjob again. I hate that stuff. I just want my controller just to be a controller. Well, I don't want to have to blow on my controller. I don't want to do motion controls. I don't want my controller to have to vibrate to progress. I just want to play a game. Why do I have to do these stupid gimmicky things to progress? I don't mind them being optional, but being required, that's just incompetent game development. There's no going around it. That's not an opinion. That's just straight up fact. To develop a game where you have to use gimmicky controls to progress is bad game design. You should always develop your games with the basic core mechanics of what is available for everyone, and then you develop the gimmicky stuff. So I love the game. Like I said, I know that sounds like I'm really harsh on the game. I 100% completed the game. I enjoyed the game. I didn't platinum it. I don't know if I'm ever going to. I'm just not a trophy person. But I would gladly run through this game again. But I just can't ignore, again, the game crashed twice on me, the game soft locked on me, the game expecting people to download a 3.6 gigabyte update. I just can't get over that. That's just, for such a simple game, such a simple platformer, that's something that I can't ignore. That's just signs of a bad physical copy, and I just have to acknowledge that. While I really enjoyed the game was cute, the game was charming, the game was beautiful to look at. I love the music, I love the cameos in the game. I'm trying to avoid any spoilers, massive stuff, so that way you can all experience it the first time for yourself, and I do recommend the game. But as a physical copy, and as Team Asobi's big outing, I'm actually severely disappointed in their physical copy and how low effort they did to make sure it was a complete authentic package on disc. So I know that's going to aggravate some people. Again, here at In-Game Arts, we don't do DLC updates, microtransactions, or redeem codes. We play all of our games completely offline with an unregistered account. If the content is not on the disc or cartridge, then that content doesn't exist. There is no exception to this. While I may enjoy the game, I may love the game, I do recommend playing the game, and I gladly run through this game again. I am a physical copy reviewer, and as a physical copy, this is a low effort physical copy. While the game works, it does function, it is disappointing that they just didn't go the extra mile to show a little bit more love for physical preservation. So like always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video was informative and helpful for you and your physical collecting. I do like the game. I do love the game. I do enjoy the game. And I wish we could get more games like this. This is what I want. But I want working physical copies to be done and ready and shipped off. I don't mind that they have these speed runs coming later, which is still aggravating, but that's just add-on content. To me, the fact that you didn't even have a right joystick support out the gate, and that's an update feature, just is unacceptable. And as well as that having a soft lock moment, the 2 crashes, the weird auto-saving system, how it works, weird audio issues at certain moments, like audio cutting out. These were not big deals, but still, it's noteworthy. I just can't get over it. So I have to be harsh to it, no matter how much I like the game and no matter how much people love the game. No exceptions to this rule. It is a bad physical copy, but it is a great physical game. I love the game, but the physical copy leaves a lot to be desired. So like always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video. Bye-bye!